Hi, Cancer Ascendant, Capricorn descendant. Hi. All right, so welcome to the space, I guess, first and foremost. You're the first sign I'm doing outside, which is always a nice thing to notice. This, as I mentioned, and you saw in the title, Ascendant, Descendant, which are in the same world. Now, this is going to be based, I guess, in some traditional means of astrology, but or what we perceive now, but also the undercurrent of it, or the foundation of it. We're going to be working. I made my pizza pie chart. There we go. The Taurus, it's where Taurus rules the first house, okay? Where Taurus rules the first house. And then we'll move along. Just a sort of a little overlook on perhaps, so you can understand yourself a little bit better, okay? And of course, I'll be taking my own. I read charts in different ways, so let's see. We can all look at a different map in a different way, right? So, Cancer Ascendant. Let's see. I want to get cozy. Let's get cozy. Maybe you like to be cozy. Cancer Ascendant, right? You like being surrounded. You do probably like it cozy, actually. Comfortable, right? Your home is probably very important to you. Makes you feel stable, makes you feel grounded. Good girl, Zumi. Hold on, let me untie her one sec. You want to jump up here? Yeah, come on. Good girl. Oh my god, you see, she's been doing this lately. Stay. Oh, she's camera shy. Oh, I know. Ever since we got the cat, she's been so much more snuggly. Alright. Cancer Ascendant. So snuggly, right? Loving, sweet. Probably put yourself aside for other people sometimes. That's your natural tendency, right? That's okay, but you can't do it all the time, okay? Your children are probably very important to you. Anything that you deem your responsibility becomes huge, and you want to just kind of be in charge of it, right? Could be a bit torn in your heart about who you are, due to who you gave love to and how they gave love back to you. Particularly with your mother. Okay? Yeah, let me take off my boots and you can come up here. Yeah. Come here, sugar. You wanna get up here? Come on. So figure it out. Cancer Ascendant. You'll have to have a lot of conversations with your heart with other people's hearts, right? You'll have to have a lot of those conversations to figure out your own self-value. And I see specifically because Your descendant is Capricorn. If you're ever with somebody, whatever your connection is, and they break a bone or have major like teeth issues, or you end up breaking bones or having teeth issues, things like this, that's probably not the person for you, right? That's probably not the person for you, particularly when it's happening to the other person, and especially in ways of like deep love. Okay, really when you're really a committed relationship, right? So be aware of that. It's like a big red flag that's like, hey. And I know that because they're hurt, right? Their bones are broken, or the teeth are hurting, or whatever the situation is, they're lacking stability in some way. You want to give that to them. It's going to be hard for you, especially earlier in life, I'd presume, where you say no, because again, if someone's hurt, your natural tendency is to want to help them. You're the mama, even if you're a man. You know what I mean? Like, you're the nurturer, you're the carer. You carry a lot for other people. And it's a direct reflection of how you probably were not raised or shown that. You have a hard time giving it to yourself, and so you give it to other people, right? But if you can give it to other people, it's very important that you obviously are perfectly capable of giving it to yourself, because it's an act of giving. If you can give it outward, you can give it inward. It's the same thing, it's just the other way, right? It's really that simple. I need you to remember that. You have to convince your heart of this also. That's part of that conversation that needs to be had. I see your father could have really formed the males in your life that your heart was connected to as you went along. Really, whatever your heart was connected to, but I see particularly masculine energy. Doesn't have to be male, actually. It's masculine energy. That's what shakes you some. It like makes you have these conversations with yourself. And if you have the conversation, then you really, because if you figure out the masculine Cancer, then the feminine is very easy, and you're actually a lot closer than a lot of other people to finding this balance between masculine and feminine, if you're willing to have those conversations with your heart. If you're willing to have, like, you to yourself, you to your heart, you also to other people. Once you figure out and you have that conversation with yourself, again, it's a practice, and so that you can have, again, conversations with other people, how it is that you're feeling, right? You rule, I feel. So that you don't hold everything inside, right? Because you could have a tendency to kind of hide what's all going on in there. Not that you're unaware of it, but that it's a lot. And so you have to make sure that your heart, you're being fair to your heart. It's cute, I'm writing this in pink. Be fair to your heart. Cancer, Ascendant. Capricorn, descendant. I see, again, you really love home. If your lower back is hurting, right? If your lower back is sore, if you're having any issues with your kidneys, things like this, that's a direct reflection of that conversation with the heart. There's an imbalance somewhere in the feelings, okay? So maybe actually doing like squats could be helpful for you, because that strengthens the thighs, it strengthens the lower back, right? Strengthens the buttocks. Like, and your kidneys are all in this sort of, your kidneys, your butt, your that this part of your body, right? Should be, you want it to be strong, okay? I also see, check your posture, right? If you're, because curling in your shoulders, things like this, it's representing a kind of insecurity. I see that the more you grow, the more you understand more about whatever this masculine is. You'll be able to warm more of the, put more warmth. You have to learn how to put more warmth into your own feelings, right? Because again, your natural tendency is to mother the world. You are the mother. Here, you are ultimately Mother Earth, but it's like, you know that you're an earthly being, so you want to mother humans. You know, you want to mother what's living. I feel like this is a person that you'd go to the gas station and you'd see like a homeless person, like bum and change or something, and you would take them home and feed them. You might even get into a relationship with them. I mean, it depends on the situation, but other aspects. But the point is that there's something, right, where you're just, but the thing is that's interesting to me is I'm seeing this in such an innocent way, but there's also something. You have to make sure where you're being illogical, right? Because you can't fix people. People have to fix themselves. And that, in essence, is probably one of your other big, huge lessons, right? Which reflects back to you having to fix yourself, having to love yourself, right? These, not that you're not allowed to care for people like you want to, but it's like you have to learn the lesson of, if someone doesn't, I mean, occasionally, Cancer, sure, you can help people for nothing, but you really shouldn't. And it's not selfish to think about what you're getting out of the situation. How does it help you? Because it should be helping both, everyone involved, all parties involved, right? If it's helping everyone, then hoorah. Right? But if it's only helping another and it's diminishing yourself, your resources, your just whatever it is that is yours, right? Because yes, we come from an infinite source, but we have to, as humans, have to replenish ourselves. Anything on this earth has to replenish itself. And so you can't just drain it out and just cut yourself open and give yourself all to everybody. If it's painful to you, you have to figure out how to say no. And I guess ask yourself what is painful to you and have, again, those conversations with your heart so that you realize where your weak spots are, right? Where it's a little bit more tender. And nurture those parts of yourself. And don't feel weak because you have them. Or because of those things that have happened. If any of you deal with anxiety, also this will diminish. Right? Any kind of anxious energy. Yeah, I see less anxiety. Let's see here. You probably will have you become very attached to some, like, emotions and You're probably a very emotional child. Kind of misunderstood. You probably didn't receive what it is that you needed as a child. There was something that was like missing, or something that was cold, or something like it made sense and all of a sudden didn't make sense. Like it was on, it was off, right? There's some instability in there. Which probably caused you to have a hard time expressing who it is that you are. Right? Communicating faith. And it's interesting, we're going back. I guess this could also be for any of you who have children. Okay, or your nieces or your nephews, what have you. Of course, anyone really. But if we knew all these things when we're talking about, say, children, or when you were a child, that would be a different story, right? Because there would be different information. And so I see that childhood was very formative. I mean, it is for everyone, but I see it for you particularly strongly, right? Maybe you weren't allowed to say how you feel. There could have also been something while you were growing up and with your sexual, like something with sexual encounters that were it's like you probably learned about sex too soon also. But again, it's like I keep seeing this Cancer Ascendant as like a fast track to this pinnacle of perfection. It really is a fast track. But I guess it depends how fast you learn the lessons, or once you learn the lessons, it's like, boom, you shoot to this completely new level. But I think for a lot of you that begin, because we talked about the past for almost 15 minutes, right? That's Saturn. It's lessons learned through time and experience, right? We probably had to go that way because it is the fast track. It can't be that way all the time, or it wouldn't be meaningful, right? I see most of you are a very dedicated partner. Whatever you dedicate yourself to, it is devoted. So that also is very important, where you end up putting your time, what you put your devotion and dedication into. Why, right? What is, to whom and for what, right? What? I see again any broken bones, teeth, issues with your partners. These. It's kind of like I saw veer clear. Okay? There's something off about it. Could be a very spiritual person. Could also be very influenced by your friends. So I see that I heard you want to make sure that you're putting, I heard God before your friends. Oh, there's a dandelion that bloomed. Cute. It's the first one. 2 of them this season. Cute. Well, just know that when your friends when the people in your life are no longer defined the same way that they were in your life, And even when they say they abandoned you or whatever, or you were abandoned, that was there to teach you that God never abandoned you. That you can never actually be abandoned. And once you know that, you succeed in your career like that. And there's nothing that can stop you because you are very intelligent, right? Very dedicated, very devoted, very powerful, very protective too. You know, this can be real headstrong. And so because that head is strong, you want to make sure that you're thinking the right things and also realizing that the head has to talk to the heart, right? And I see again, once that conversation is had in an appropriate way and you purify the things that have happened out of there, you stop having the same old conversations with your heart or about old things, right? Then, and you figure out the lesson and you settle yourself peacefully in your mind and in your emotions about it, then I see you get this fast track. It's like, again, if you do actually even though it takes a while, you learn the lesson. Once you learn the lesson, Cancer, it's a fast track. And when you're on that, in that space, you'll realize more, because I think most of you have to practice communicating. You know what I mean? With your friends, speaking your mind, you know, holding your head up high so people can see your beautiful neck. You know what I mean? Have your heart be open, right? This is a completely different energy than even this, like we were sitting, you know? I do sense a lot of you could be nervous, especially early in life and probably with certain transits, right? It would come in. I guess the more you have a hold of your feelings, that means you have a better hold on your mind, right? You know the reins of it, right? You rule the chariot, right? They're reins like the chariot, not chains like the devil card, right? Capricorn, your descendant. You have to know that you have reins or chains. Reins or chains, holy fuck, that's deep, Cancer. You could definitely have a battle in your mind. Some of you, could have some debts to pay with Sagittarius. I see that. But whatever they are, you balance them out. You clear them out. This life. Some of you could have Scorpio children. Sorry. If your dreams are too intense, if your dreams are too warlike, like they're almost like nightmares versus dreams, making an amethyst amulet for yourself, you could wrap it in twine, you could wrap it, copper's really conductive, doesn't have to be anything perfect, just have it, and then have it be a necklace that sits right on your heart, and before you go to bed, you pray into that space that that you are safe and loved, and you will feel safe and loved and protected in that space, and that it is a dream. Okay, it is only a dream, and dreams cannot hurt you. Nothing actually can hurt you. Okay? Because you are safe and loved and protected. Our response to pain in ways of hurt only comes because that's what we were taught. Right? If a child had never broke their arm and they break their arm, when they turn to, you always know when a child gets hurt, they turn to an adult to see how to behave. And then they see what kind of response they get via that reaction. Right? Now, if you broke your arm and someone just didn't phase them, so it didn't phase you, and then took you over to wherever, and you know, until it was time for whatever, you had to go into the vehicle to go fix it, or you know, bring you to the doctor or whatever, put a splint on it, it probably wouldn't even cry, you know. So or you can retrain yourself, especially whatever goes on up in your head that's hard for you to explain to other people sometimes. And I see, again, the more that you practice communicating vocally, right? Expressing yourself, holding your head up high, all these things, opening up your heart to people, right? Having, again, those conversations with yourself and your heart, so you can have them with other people. Verbally express how you feel, right? So that you can get what you want and have long-lasting relationships that are very enlightening, where everyone in the group is growing, right? And not feeling disappointed when the things that were there, when the you know, when whatever balances out. If things float away, that's fine. It's just part of life, you know. Wow, very interesting. I like reading off the pizza pie chart. Well, I hope this was of service. Thanks for being here, of course. Thank you so very much. Take care of yourself. I'll see you later.
Peace.